If all we do is tell people to do it our way and then we expect them to be clones of us, that's not actually leadership. You're right. In terms of the guiding, we have a job as guides and coaches, but we also have practicalities.
Welcome to the Lara Jane Layton Show. This podcast is for you, the person who keeps putting others first. Your self-talk has held you back. You no longer need to take a second seat. Let's explore ways to overcome self-doubt. You can silence that inner bully voice and achieve your full potential. Here's your host, Lara Jane.
Welcome to the show, friend. My new best friend, Sarah, is here with me at Potapalooza, and we are having so much fun. And we are going to record a challenge. Sarah is going to help us embody our leadership. Have you ever just felt like a robot and you're just doing things because they got to get done and you've been lost? Sarah's here to help us. So, Sarah, the information about you is in the show notes. So help us get out of that do loop.
Absolutely. So, Laura Jane, today I want to challenge your listeners to stop performing leadership. I want them to consider this possibility. What if leadership isn't something you do? It's something you transmit. Because for decades, we were sold this notion that leaders needed to be the loudest person in the room, commanding control. But what I really want to challenge your listeners to today is to stop performing and let's instead emphasize being present.
How do I be present?
Great question. It's so simple, and yet it's something that 99% of us don't practice. So it is very easy to get busy doing. We get into our brains and we start over functioning. We start go, go, go. We get on that hamster wheel. We've all been there. If this resonates, what I want you to do is to actually stop. That's the first thing, is to have the self-awareness to stop performing and realize that the performance it's that posturing. It's that need to have control. It's about managing perceptions and proving yourself and go, go, go. We need to stop, and then we need to become fully present in the moment and inside our own bodies. We need to have the awareness to start breathing, right? And to become fully present means that we start using all of our senses. So this is an easy, practical way for leaders to get into the present moment. I want them to start to notice what they're seeing, what they're hearing, what they're feeling in their body, name it. And, if you're drinking something, taste it fully, smell it fully. But this is how we become fully present. If there's an opportunity, say you're in a team meeting and you're used to performing leadership at the front of the room and telling everybody what to do, this is an opportunity for you to be fully present. And I want you to step back. Stop talking, listen, just listen, observe. I want you to hold space for everybody else in the room and only ask questions. I want you to utilize silence. I want you to empower others. And this is the first step into our embodied leadership presence that is nothing to do with performance.
So, how do I feel about the situation? Who feels when you're at work? We just think. How do I get out of my head into my heart and see it, feel it, smell it, taste it? How do I do all that?
So it's a really important question that you're asking, because you're right. We have become machines that are so fast at thinking that we're responding in our head before the other person has actually stopped talking. Okay, so this takes a tremendous amount of self-control, and this requires the highest level of intelligence, which is actually called metacognition. And the highest level of intelligence requires that you are able to have thoughts about your thoughts. So you're able to observe your thoughts as they're coming in. You're able to hold those thoughts. You're able to listen to other people. You're able to wait. You're able to pause. You're able to be present and not rush to respond. Now that feels hard because we're not taught how to do that. And this is what I work with my clients on, because I believe that the way forward in leadership is about actually creating an experience of leadership, and it's an experience of your leadership as a grounded, present leader, someone who connects with human beings, someone who creates safety and belonging first. And then we solve problems second. But do you see how so much of the time we're in such a rush that what we do as leaders is we think we have to be the smartest or loudest person in the room and we have to have all the answers. We rush to the solution and we end up performing.
Hmm. So don't be the loud. Don't have to be the loudest. If you are, that's okay. Don't have to be the smartest. If you are, that's okay. Don't have to. So he's just letting go of that I need to do it all feeling and becoming
Absolutely.
part of the team and allowing
Yes.
the flow and letting everybody perform or
That's exactly
embody
it.
the life.
It's a massive shift in your leadership that starts with such a small step in behavior, because it actually requires restraint. It actually requires you to pull back on saying more and doing more. It requires you to enable your team to come up with more of the ideas, to do more of the things that maybe you have been the expert in for so long. And recognizing that you actually don't have anything to prove. In fact, your role as a leader is not to prove yourself competent or to prove yourself the smartest person in the room. It's to actually build that belief in others. And that's the shift. That's where we actually fully step into our leadership authority, is when we start to realize that our job is to develop that skill in others, not to be the expert.
I'm thinking about my granddaughter, and she is in a school that doesn't have teachers, they have guides. And if they have a question, the guides can't tell them the answer. It's, how would you find that answer? How do you think you can solve that? How and gives them those thinking processes. So it sounds like the same thing we're going to do for the people around us instead of, this is how you're going to make the spreadsheet, and this is how you're going to do it, and this is what you're going to deliver by. It's, how do you think you could put this information together? We're allowing us not to know it all, but to allow somebody else's creativity to shine.
Beautiful. And I think that there's two thoughts that go with that. One is that I know there are leaders listening to the show right now that instinctively they're like, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to let everybody else figure it out because we are short on time and we are short on resources and we just have to get SHIT done. So if that's the case, then this becomes a challenge of control. This becomes a challenge of how do you as a leader develop others and give them tools and resources so that they can get there faster. Because ultimately, our job is to develop others. It comes with the territory. And if all we do is tell people to do it our way, and then we expect them to be clones of us, that's not actually leadership. You're right. In terms of the guiding, we have a job as guides and coaches, but we also have practicalities. And so this is where we can get creative. We can have tools and templates. We can have some exemplars of how things have been done well in the past, but we can also give people room to create, to ideate, to innovate. And I think that's the magic, is that we're not so stuck on one way of doing things, our way, that we actually empower people and say, hey, if you've got ideas or you'd like to make this better, I'd be interested and open to it. But we're
Hmm.
also not making them suffer by saying, I'm not telling you how. I've hired you into a marketing role. Now go do marketing and I'm not telling you what it is. Right? So like I think we have to shift out of the old model, and we have to become more teachers and guides. And we have to allow for that space and that ideation and for that that creativity, and for people to learn and develop as they're doing the work.
I like it. All right. So, our challenge this week is to next time we feel like taking over, to pause and to think how we're going to allow somebody to support us. And that way we're getting out of our head and in all the do's and getting into the more of embodying our leadership.
That's right. And be fully present. So I really want your leaders to focus on being fully present, listening through all their senses, asking the questions, not focusing on the answers, but asking the questions, and then holding space and empowering others.
I love it. Let's hold space and empower. Thank you so much, Sarah. How about sharing with our friend a little bit about what you do and how to get a hold of you?
So, my name is Sarah Doyle. I'm the founder and CEO of Coach for Success, a leadership development and coaching company. I operate in Canada, but I operate worldwide. And I can be reached through different social media platforms. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, and also on my website, coachforsuccess.ca.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I love it. Friend Sarah and I are not medical or mental licensed professionals. We are here to entertain people that have been down a road and found some success. I want to help you be successful too. So thank you for joining, and share the episode with a friend so they can embody leadership also. Thank you.
Are you tired of waking up exhausted? You are not alone. If you're looking to take your life back, let's start with the simple step of adjusting your self-talk. Stay tuned for the next episode with your host, Lara Jane. Remember to follow the show so you don't miss the next simple step that you can use to feel more confident. And please leave an honest review.